You're live. Rico's today. You're so racist. Is it bad though? I'm in shock.
I had,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like this is the one that's on.
I didn't know if some of them were like too far. There's like I didn't really want to talk about like domestic violence and stuff like
I saw one like that. Like if a man hits a woman.
hits a woman. I don't really get into that.
I was like, oh, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's good.
I'm curious
left
though.
it.
What would you do in that situation? Just out of curiosity.
If my girl hit me,
Yeah.
she's like abusive.
Yeah. Would you be like, hey, bitch?
I wouldn't hit her, but I would
Yeah.
probably leave the relationship.
Yeah, 100%, of course. Imagine
But
you came to us
I
and you
want to
said,
ask-
all right, and welcome back to another episode of the GD cast. The name is official. It is sticking now.
Yeah.
Because we are not Deeper Talks. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But we have another banger of an episode for you because we wanted to talk about a bit more controversial topic, and that is double standards.
Yeah, there's
between-
always double standards.
Always double standards in life. No matter how you want to spin it, there's double standards for women and there's double standards for men.
There's even double standards just in general with society.
Yeah, in
Like
terms of
certain
like
stuff.
race and gender and
Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
disabilities and stuff like that. There's always double standards to it.
Yeah. But what would you define a double standard as?
What I define it as,
Yeah.
it's
What's your
something that
definition?
it's the best way that I would say it's something that is a rule is followed for one person but not followed for another group of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
or something like that. It's followed for one group of people but not followed for another group of people.
Yeah.
It's a double standard, and that's also like it can,
Double standard is like if someone else was to do the same thing as you, you would be treated differently.
yes,
Some sort of thing like that. And there's so many, like especially more specific towards like gender side.
between man and woman, and that's what we're going to discuss.
Yeah, like for instance, right? Like if like a women can reject guys based on their looks without being seen as shallow. But if a guy was to do it, right? If they were to reject a girl, they'll be looked
They'd
as
be in their shallow. Yeah. Because like, okay, so the argument that I have is if like an overweight chick came at you to a club or something, and I had this experience at Brisbane where these two overweight chicks came to us and they started talking to us and we showed no interest and they're like having you go at us for not showing any interest at all.
Did they actually ever go at you?
They kind of had a go. It's like, oh, why are you guys not talking? Like you guys,
Well,
you
it's
guys are
obvious
dressed
why
nice.
you're
Yeah,
questioning.
why exactly? Like you have a full head of makeup and you're fucking gigantic. Like what the fuck? I don't want to get crushed in missionary. Or fucking cowgirl. Like it's actually
Yeah, but then-
hilarious.
If you were to tell a girl that, I'm assuming they would be like, you're so shallow and
Yeah,
like
exactly. They would
cold-hearted.
be like, if I had a go at her and was like, "You're overweight. I'm not interested into bigger chicks." She's just
Yeah.
gonna have a go at me and be like, "Well, you're shallow. You shouldn't treat women like that." Yada yada yada.
Yeah, like all women are beautiful,
Yeah.
everything. But like they do the exact same
They
thing.
do the exact same thing as well. So then, like, if a girl right came to you and then you're shorter than the girl, they would have a go at you for your height, even though you're putting yourself out there and asking the chick out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing, the question I had, I really wanted to like ask that, right? Was you know how you put your height on dating apps?
Yeah.
Right. Should we make it mandatory to put weight on dating apps as well? Because weight is something you can control. In majority of circumstances, you can control your weight. Of course, there are circumstances where you can't. But for the majority of 90% of people, they can control their weight. And I don't see why you shouldn't put your weight.
That is true. Because like sometimes you might see someone on a dating app and
Yeah.
you meet them in person and
that's
all of
not-
a sudden they're like,
and
whoa.
gigantic. And that's not like
Catfish.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
not body shaming. It's just a fact of life. And like I think that should be a filter on dating apps as well, so you can filter out all the ones you don't want.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I want to be able to pick up my woman and throw her around. You know what I mean?
but some people get offended. Like weight apparently is sensitive for some people, but height is also
Bro,
sensitive.
height is so much
Like,
more sensitive
Some
for
guys are like, what? Like I can't get any chicks because I'm 5'2", right?
Yeah. Like some
And then-
girls don't look at guys shorter than them. Like period.
Even like, okay, let's say there is a girl, right? And she's like 5 foot and the guy's 5'2".
Mm. Yeah.
Sometimes they still care because it's like, oh, he's still short. I don't want my kids to be 5'1"
Yeah.
or something or 4
That's
foot.
true.
Right?
You know what? That's actually something I think of as well. Like, yeah, I'm not a tall guy. I'm like 5'9", right?
Yeah.
You're 6'1", but as a 5'9" guy, I don't want to be like with a 5 foot chick or like a 5'1" chick, because then imagine I'm doing a disservice to my kids. I feel like you genuinely
But
are.
in my case, I got so lucky because like my
Yeah,
mum
genetics.
is like 5'2", I think, and my
Yeah.
dad's like 5'7".
Yeah.
And my
Oh, yeah.
grandpa's like below 5 foot. I'm not joking. But then my grandma was 5'7",
Yeah.
and then on my mum's side, my grandpa was like 5'9". My grandma was below 5 foot.
Yeah.
So it's like how the fuck did this
Bro,
happen?
you got some mad Punjabi genetics, warrior
I don't know
genetics,
what
bro.
happened. But generally my logic was like, oh, the fatter you get, right?
Yeah.
You enlarge as well. in the heart.
Yeah, that's true. But no, not always the case.
But that
Not
was my
al-
logic because I
that
was like a
logic.
dumb kid.
But the
it's
thing
wrong.
was like you were always tall, even back in high school. From primary to high school, you're generally more the taller one. out of our entire group.
generally, yeah, which is good. But like, yeah, I think height. People say like height. Oh, like we care about it, right?
Yeah.
And like people ask about, oh, you're too short for me. But
Yeah.
if I was a guy and I said you're too fat for me,
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
and they would come at us for it. Like,
yeah, and then we're like all of a sudden shallow people.
yeah, you
But
can
like,
control your weight. You can't control your height. You can't grow
yeah,
any fucking
exactly.
taller.
So that's like
Yeah.
that's even questioning someone's height is even more rude.
It
in my
is.
opinion, because it's
It
like
is.
I can't control this. Like,
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Fucking wear stilts or some shit?
because like okay, let's say it's
And
like
then you have the girls that wear the fucking 10-inch heels or fucking 10-inch boots and fucking grow 2-3 inches like retards.
yeah. But like, let's say
Girls.
hypothetically, there's like a 5'2" guy
Yeah.
hits on like a 5 chick, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, like I think you're a great guy and everything. You look good, but like you're too short."
Yeah.
But that's not in the guy's control.
100%.
Like, but he's still at least taller than
That's
you.
what I think. Like, even some guys, like I say, they're fully ripped, they got a bit of money, but they're shorter than them. A girl still prefer the guy, or they will like reject him just because of his height.
Yeah.
I feel like. I mean,
But then
not feel
again,
like, it
right?
is the thing.
Most guys wouldn't want to be with a girl that's taller than them.
That's true as well.
That's another thing.
That's the thing with me.
Yeah.
But like, we wouldn't actively body shame the fact that they're taller than them, and that's the reason why we don't want to date them. Girls actively say we don't want to date, or we wouldn't give a chance to a guy that's shorter than them.
Yeah. But another one is like, look, if a guy cries or shows any emotion, he's weak and not masculine. But if
Yeah.
a girl was to do it, then it's like, oh, that's fine. Are you okay? And all that. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a big crier. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I personally wouldn't want to cry in front of my chick as well. I don't like to show that level of weakness. I get sad and like I
Weakness.
get
So you think it's a sign of weakness if
I
you were to
think-
cry in front of your girl? So you actually believe in what's said, kind of.
it's hard for me because I've just like from a young age myself, I've just sort of trained myself not to sort of cry about things in front of people publicly or even thing. Like if I have a problem, I deal with it privately and then put a smile on my face.
Yeah.
But I don't like. It's just the masculine nature for men not to cry in front of their female, is it not? Some women say that they prefer their men to show emotion and be sad and cry in front of them and yada yada yada. But like,
Yeah.
do you really want to be that guy that's crying in your girl's arms the entire time?
I don't see anything wrong with that, right?
don't
But if
see-
you're
it's not nothing
overly
wrong with it.
emotional,
Yeah.
like, you know, there's
I feel like it would put off a girl.
some people are really sensitive, right? Let's say,
Yeah.
but like you're crying over the most lamest things.
Yes.
It's like, oh, my manager did this to me. Like, bro, like, relax. But the thing is, if a girl was to do that,
Yeah.
a guy's like, oh, it's just your manager, it's fine,
Yeah.
it's this. And it's like, it's considered normal. But
But-
even in that scenario, like, I'll tell the girl, like, fucking suck it up. But it
Really?
depends on what it is, right?
I think you should be a bit more. I feel like you would be a bit more careful, right? I don't think you tell her to shut up, but like, I think girls are they're naturally overly emotional. They cry about the stupidest shit. I swear.
That is true.
A little thing that pisses them off, they start crying about it. It's their natural reaction to cry.
It
Well,
could-
our natural reaction is to problem solve and to figuring out a solution towards it.
It could be PMS. You know what that is?
No, I don't. What is it?
Period mood swings.
It could be.
Like that could be the thing.
That could be the thing. But even if you take that out, they're still very emotional.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree. But like,
They don't-
if
you
like a girl is crying over something little, I would be annoyed.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Over
kind of
something
like,
little.
you can deal with it by yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's like, why are you crying about it? If they cry about it,
Yeah.
like that's just a big deal. I would say.
For me as well, like there's some stuff that if she starts crying about, I will be pissed off. But like, I generally understand when a girl. I think I've just gotten used to the fact that girls cry a lot, and that they're very very emotional, and that you just have to suck it up as a guy and just deal with it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but as a double standard, it's a hard one because like, how do I say this in the best possible way? Yes, men should be able to show sadness or weakness in front of their female.
Yeah.
And it should be allowed. But I think the bigger one is the fact that I'm going slightly off topic here, but I don't know, you might know UFC Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah.
You know how in his last fight he talked about men's suicide and men's mental health.
Yeah.
That's something that's pretty big. Like, it's very common for females or women in general to go seek help when they're struggling mentally or they're depressed. They have like a connection, a network to talk to instantly, and like people will automatically care for them. But when a man does it, they generally shunned upon, or they don't be like, oh, you just man up. That phrase, man up, is probably the worst phrase out there. It is a good phrase in most circumstances, but like when a person is seriously hurting, it could be very detrimental to them. And they don't want to, and men don't talk about the issue. I personally don't talk about my issues if I have issues.
Yeah.
You know?
You know how I look at it? Like, I'm pretty open with what I talk about. Like, even if I'm sad or whatever, I'll talk with anyone I feel. Like, I'm pretty open about with my emotions with people. But, like, I feel like men that don't show emotion, like, they kind of, like, what do you call it? They don't want to appear weak, right?
Yes.
But them not actually showing their emotion, in my opinion, shows that they are weak.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes and no. I think this is a hard one for me because I'm very much like the person you described just
exactly.
there. I don't like talking about my issues. I just deal with them personally.
And I think that actually makes you weak.
Probably makes me slightly weaker. I could see that in that argument as well.
Yeah.
But I just feel like as in my eyes, as a man's responsibility, I expect to find a solution to a problem, whether it's personal or someone else's. I will just find a way to do it, a way around it, whatever it is. Until then, I'll bottle up the emotions and deal with the issue, and then the emotions can come out. Usually that does lead to other issues where I start getting angry at random stuff.
Yeah.
But it is what it is at the end of the day.
No, but I used to bottle up a lot, and then you'll just get to a point where it's like, fuck, like, and you like that moment of anger is so bad.
You know what? I think this could be also the fact that the way we're raised up. This is a good question. I know it's off topic here, off double standards, but like the fact that you've grown up around sisters, I feel like allows you to show more emotion easier than the fact that me have grown up with a brother and like a tough family upbringing.
Yeah.
It generally just teaches me to solve the issue and the problem.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that because
even with other friends as well of ours.
Because like in my household, right? So I've got 2 sisters, right? And then my mom and dad.
And you got plenty of cousin sisters as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like at home in general, I think since I was like young, my dad's work shift was always like 2:30 to like 11 or something.
Damn.
Right? Yeah. So I would see him in the morning and then I won't see him after that, right? Yeah. I only see him on his day off or something.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm always surrounded at home with women. Yeah. So like, I guess like through that, I actually do. I kind of built that high emotional.
You definitely have the highest emotional quotient out of our entire friend group, which we can see clearly. But yeah, that's a very good take because I've grown up around my brother and then my dad and mom's there as well.
So all boys.
It's all boys basically. And we don't really have family relatives in Australia. So it's only them, and that's the environment I grew up in, and it just teaches you to solve problems and don't worry about the emotions around it.
That makes sense. That does make.
It does make a lot of sense. I've always thought about this as well.
And I do think I probably, like, I do have more of that emotion side, that feminine side, because I do have 2 sisters. Yeah, definitely. Because like they say stuff to me like, oh, like never do this to a girl, never do that to a girl, never call a girl a slut. And I was like. Okay. I was like,
I don't think you would either way. Like,
either way, I wouldn't.
Even there, you wouldn't. Yeah.
But it's interesting. I never thought of it that way because, like, even looking at our friend group, it makes more sense.
It does,
right? Because, like, I think I'm the only one in our group that has 2 sisters.
Yes.
I think one of them has like one sister,
little,
But then, like. Everyone else has brothers.
Everyone has brothers. And we're very much a big boy-lad group.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
So, that makes so much more sense.
It does, doesn't it?
And it also makes more sense because people actually, like, from the group, they actually come to me when they want to have
a serious, deep connection and chat.
Yeah, because, like...
Because I feel like...
I'm approachable and, like, comfortable.
To talk about. That's because you're just gay. I have the question whether you're bi or not.
That's because of what I say to the boys. I say a lot of sus things.
That's very true. But yeah, no, as a double standard, I don't think it's a big one, but like it definitely has its implications on the fact that men don't really show emotions. The female and women can show or cry in front of them, and it's absolutely fine.
Yeah. And I think...
And men are just expected to deal with those emotions. That's a big one. Men are expected to take on upon the emotions of females and deal with them for them.
Yeah. I think, men should show more emotion if they can. But like, it depends. It depends on what it is. That's just in my head.
It does depend on what it is. Like
if you're crying because your girlfriend or like your wife showed you attitude.
Dude, women cry over a fucking cockroach crawling on the ground, fam.
Yeah.
Literally. That's the stuff that they sometimes cry over and you have to deal with. And like that stuff you can't really, you just like, okay, go cry in the corner, I'll go slap the cockroach up.
Yeah. Oh, but what about this one? Should women open the car door if the man drives them to the date? Why is it that men are expected to open the door?
Yeah. See, that comes back to the olden days chivalry, right?
Yeah.
But then also women want more, they want the more masculine approach now. Like they want to be in charge of running dates and stuff like that.
Well, so you want them to open the door?
Yeah, like bitch, if I'm driving, you come and open the door for me.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. But
wait, would you open the car door for a chick on a date? I've done it like twice, and that's it. I feel awkward when I have to go and open the door for them.
I actually want to do that.
You want to do that? I feel like it's just treating too much like a princess. Like, bitch, you have two hands. You're an independent woman. Open the fucking door and sit in the car.
But it's not like every time. But it's like, let's say like, if it's like a first date or something, you're just walking, you just finished your date, right? Yeah. And you walk towards the car, you open the door for them, let them go. And when you drop them off, I think they can get out themselves. You don't need to open the door.
That's a definite no.
Yeah.
Yeah. But would you let your girl walk in the room first? Like, would you be like ladies first and do that?
I wouldn't. No, I don't see myself doing that.
Nah.
Ladies first or whatever.
I'd rather walk in the room first.
Well, I'll do it in a scenario where I don't want to go first.
It's like a family
Let's say if
function.
it's like a gay night club or something, it's like ladies first. Yeah. I don't want to go in first.
She'll be sending you in first to get laid, bro, and then coming after.
Oh man. But like even Andrew Tate, he raises some pretty interesting points with like double standards as well. Like when a robber enters the building, you expect the man to go downstairs and deal with the issue.
That's a big double standard. And I don't want to take like a breather and talk about it for a sec, right? So Andrew Tate, he, like just to reaffirm what he said, right? He said, if you and your missus are sleeping in bed upstairs and a robber breaks in, right? Who do you expect out of you two to go and deal with the situation?
Yeah.
Like you naturally expect the man or the masculine one to go and deal with the situation.
But then biologically, it has to be the man because they're bigger and they're stronger usually.
They're usually bigger and they're stronger. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what's going to happen. Yeah. The man's going to deal with it.
But then a woman expects that as well. So, but then is it wrong to expect a woman to like either cook, clean, make food for you and be a housewife sometimes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be. That's not what I'm saying. But like there's that, that's the double standard that we're talking about. Like why don't you pick up the gun and go shoot the robber in the face instead of the man has to do it?
Well, if you got a gun, anyone can.
But
if it's like a full fist fight, like it's probably best for the man to go. But like, what if it's a scenario where like it's like a skinny, lanky guy, no muscle or anything, no fighting experience. That's not you. But like, let's say if it was something like that, but like the girl goes to the gym, right? She's bigger.
Yeah, she's massive and she's like, imagine she's like a UFC mixed martial artist. Then like,
then it makes sense for her to go.
Then it does make sense for her to go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you would expect her to go as well. But then what if she expects you to go instead? How funny would that be?
It's like, I'm not fighting you.
She's like, I'm a world champion in UFC flyweight and I want you to go deal with the situation.
Imagine like you're like married to like Ronda Rousey and like a robber.
Yeah.
they
like,
break
okay,
in.
Even think about this situation for a second. Like within the family, say your family, right? Robber walks in the door. All of you are upstairs. Who's going to be expected to go down and deal with the situation?
Probably me and my dad.
Exactly. There you go. Right?
Yeah,
It'd be you and your dad because it's just generally wired like that.
And like, let's say,
yeah,
you're right. It is, yeah. But like, let's say my dad, he would expect me to do something.
Yeah,
because he's like, you're younger. He's like, I'm old, man. like you deal with it,
bro. Literally. Oh. But that's what I'm saying. Even like, not even in a relationship context, you can even see the double standard just there.
Yeah, but like, I feel like that's just biologically, like generally,
biologically, like as well.
Yeah, because
Like you expect to be stronger as a man, and
like I did an arm wrestle with my sister just for fun, right?
yeah,
And like she was trying, and it was like her trying was legit nothing, right? So it's like, it's just biologically we're so different that it's just like because that person is more physically bigger, stronger, heavier, he's the one who should go fight. But okay, what if it was, let's say a robber did break in, but she was a female.
we can't hit women, right?
We can't hit women.
It's domestic violence. Right? Can't hit women. So here you go. That's your job now.
It's your job now. It's your problem.
It's a good statement. Like, but I think even in that case, both of us would still go and deal with that situation.
The girl would just come in now.
Just go. We're like, you want to join us for a threesome instead?
Oh man. No, but there's like so many double standards out there. Like, especially like
There
like
is, man. Like,
relationship wise, like, and I feel like it's mainly related to gender. Like,
I mean, we do have a boys' perspective at the moment. We'll probably do another episode of double standards with girls because they will come up with
they'll come at us.
They'll come with their own 50 list of questions about it.
I did try to keep this these like double standard
Slightly geared towards the guys. Yeah.
But like, for example, with women, right? They can body shame men for their height.
Yeah, this is back to that point. Yeah.
For their penis size or whatever. Whereas like for men, even like if we mention the women's weight,
then
or
we're crucified for
the size of their breasts or like the size of their ass or something. Like, it's,
you know, one thing that I was curious about, right, recently.
What?
You know how there's this whole wave of accepting plus size women models?
Yeah.
When's the last time you've seen a plus size men model accepted in society and glorified on the news, on Today News and stuff like that?
That is so true. I haven't really seen
We've
that
never
at all.
really heard of a plus size male model. There probably are out there. But
it's not being promoted.
It's not being glorified, or it's not being promoted. Because it's not acceptable. They know it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
But they glorify it for women. When that shouldn't be glorified. Yes, you're beautiful if you're fat. That's your own opinion. Like, beauty is an opinionated statement.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't change the physicality or the health aspect of that issue of being overweight.
Oh, that's a really, really good point. I never heard of a plus size
I've
male
never
model.
heard of a plus size male model out there in the world.
Yeah.
Not once. If you think of a model that's a man, you think he's chiseled, he has fucking massive chest, big quads, big arms, veiny, fucking good tan shaved. That's what the typical male model looks like.
Yeah. Or it's just like skinny but
Just
toned.
skinny and very toned, yeah.
And like some of them are like fitness models, so they're more a bit bulkier.
More bulkier, but
Plus size here, male
You don't-
models. If I knew about that, I would have just gone down that path.
you're gonna be the first one, bro.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm
You're
gonna do
gonna
like
get fat
reverse
again.
dieting and shit. Like, I'm gonna start packing on the weight. I'm gonna like start a movement. Plus size modeling.
I
for men.
honestly feel like though, like once you reach a certain age, you're gonna be like, fuck dieting, fuck exercise, fuck gym. I'm gonna eat what I enjoy now for the rest of my life.
I swear that'll probably be like after marriage and you have like 2 kids that are like
when you're
teenagers.
comfortable with your life. Yeah.
Pretty much, because at that point it's like there's nothing else there.
Oh no.
But what about in terms of body count? So when men have a high body count,
the double standard.
you're considered like players and stuff, like good on ya, good
Yeah.
job. Whereas if women have a high body count, it's considered like you're a whore.
I think there's a logical answer to this question. And I know people aren't gonna like this when we say this or when I say this, right? Right. For a man to get sex, it's hard. Right? They have to do a lot more work
Yeah.
in talking with the female, having the money, flirting with her, grinding with her on the club, then taking to a hotel, and then still flirting and seducing her, and then sleeping with her. Right? You get any girl, an average girl, right? And you go to the club and you pick a guy, she can be like, do you want to fuck? The guy who 9 out of 10 times will probably say yes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I think that's why in society, and I'm not saying if you want to have many sexual partners is wrong. I'm just not saying that, right? That's up to your choice, your own body. You can do whatever the fuck you want. However, it is still easier for women to get sex than it is for a man. It's an obvious statement. There's nothing new about it. Everyone knows it. Everyone just doesn't want to say it.
And generally, do women have higher body counts than men?
Probably. I'm
They
pretty
do,
sure
right?
they do. I'm very sure they do.
Yeah, I think there's some
Average, like
statistic out
statistically
there.
wise. Yeah, statistically wise, I'm definitely sure that women have a higher average body count than men do.
That's true. But I have another perspective of it.
Oh,
I
fire
feel
away,
like
mate.
with women, because the way they look at it, I feel like like women, they can be pretty toxic at times, right?
As in,
As in like towards each other, right? And I feel like it's not accepted among women to sleep with too many men. And I feel like for guys, it's accepted to sleep with many women. Because because it's hard work.
It's hard work. And so when a guy does sleep with many women, they're sort of praised in society because they're sort of the top tier male, right?
Yeah.
While as a girl that sleeps around is generally perceived as a slut or a whore. And you know what? Girls use those own terms when they want to bitch about each other as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The first thing they refer to is call them a slut, and that pulls them down a peg.
Yeah, like for instance, if you were like, let's say you were sleeping around with like a girl every week, your body count's like 60, right?
Mm-hmm. And I don't.
Right.
Need to clarify.
Yeah, your body count is 60, right?
Yeah.
I would just be like, oh yeah, he's going for casual. I would never call you a whore or a slut.
You probably wouldn't call me a whore,
but be like, hey, you player. Like I probably would.
You would say that,
like
but you would also think. I know you would also think like this guy sleeps around too much. It's bad. Even I think.
But I wouldn't call you out on it. But
you probably wouldn't call me
like
out on it. Yeah.
If it were girls, I think they would be like, oh nah, like she's a slut. Like
you would
talk behind each other's back and be like, oh nah, like
yeah. I mean, it comes back to that statement
because like she sleeps around with like a guy every weekend at the club.
That's true.
And does one night stands. And some people have this thing that even like, oh, I don't count one night stands as a body count.
You said to this before, but that's retarded. You sleep with someone, that's a body to your count. That's why there's a rule, right? If you, for a girl, whatever number they say their body count is, you multiply by 3 and that's their real body count.
Yeah. Wow. You right, mate?
Nah, I'm not. I'm actually better now. Nah. Surprised you didn't bring your vape to the club yesterday.
No, I didn't have any vapes anymore.
He's quit. He's quit.
I didn't quit, but like, I think what happened was we came back from Melbourne, and then I think I had like 2 vapes with me, and then it was like on the kitchen bench. And then my dad's like, "Why are you still doing this? You got sick last time because of this."
Yeah.
And my sister was like, "Yeah, you should like stop." I was like, "Throw it then." I was just like, I don't really care. I was like, just throw it.
And they just binned it.
And they actually just binned it. So I was like, okay. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you might be like,
I'm so surprised your parents are so chill about the fact that you vape, you know?
My mum's not really chilled, but like with my mum, I was being a bit stupid. Like I think I would blow around near her. And then I actually got hit.
Yeah, even that's good. You better get your ass whooped for that.
Well, she always hits me. But like that's normal. But that's because I annoy everyone though.
Oh, we know.
Like everyone, legit in my family. I annoy everyone. But back on the topic though.
All right.
Like a married woman without a job is a homemaker, but a married man without a job is a failure and useless.
That's true.
Right?
I mean, men who don't have jobs are looked down upon.
Yeah.
In society, but you would probably give a broke girl a chance. Would you not?
That's true, yeah.
If she was pretty, you'd still be like, okay, let's see a bit more about your life, your history, background. You still talk to her, you still go on a date with her.
Yeah.
But I feel like if a guy didn't have a job or anything.
Yeah, like I feel like girls have this expectation, like, oh, does he work? Does he make good money?
Is it wrong to expect that though? I think we touched on this before. It's not
wrong
to expect.
Right?
Yeah, it's not wrong to expect that, but there is that double standard. If you don't have a job or like if you don't have a wife in the future, don't have kids, you are looked at as a failure. In that same sense, women are also looked, if they don't have children within society, they're looked down upon.
Really?
That momentum is slowly shifting now, but more so in like non-Western countries, it's very looked down upon. Ethnic countries.
Yeah.
Think about it, if you're in India, Sri Lanka.
But also just think back then, because it was always like the man goes out, woman cooks, cleans. It's just still those values are still somewhat there. Especially like even with my dad, I remember like when I was like 6 or 7 or something, he was like telling my mom that, oh, I don't want Deb to wash dishes. It's not a man thing to do.
Damn.
He actually said that. And I was like, I took advantage of it. And then like, I think over time though, my dad progressed and was like,
it's just that culture back in that country.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's just instilled into you from a young age.
Because I think my dad was taking care of the whole family at one point. So he was like the provider. So he would go out, work long hours and just make sure everyone's got fucking food for dinner. Like, that's how it was.
See, that's changing now, right? So most women earn their own money now and they're more independent. So the man is no longer necessarily the provider in the family. It's more of an equal opportunity relationship.
Yeah.
So then you're expected to take upon both roles. And why would you not, you know?
But related to that, like I think we kind of touched on this slightly, but like women are supposed to clean the inside of the house, right? But men do yard work. Like,
I don't know how big that is, especially now. Back in the day, yeah. I mean, I think about my parents now as well. My mom cleans most of the house.
yeah,
My dad does all the gardening and stuff like that. They both contribute to each other in that sense. It's not like they do it completely alone. But there is that in our ethnic household, there is that perception to do work like that, to fit into your normal standard gender roles.
yeah.
But the way we're growing up, that won't be an issue. Like we won't have that double standard. We won't have that gender role.
it will definitely phase out.
It'll definitely phase
I
out.
feel like it's just part of evolution. Like
It is.
human evolution.
It is part of the Western way per se.
Yeah.
I still think if you go back to like Sri Lanka and stuff.
And then like when we have our kids, they might look at us as like with like retarded values, and we might look at them as
Retarded values.
Yeah.
I mean, even now it feels like that sometimes when you look at our parents and then they look at us.
Yeah, that's
They're like,
true.
these kids have no morals, no ethics, no dignity, no respect.
But like with the yard work though, like my
Yeah.
mum definitely forces that. Like, cause she's like, oh, you go cut the grass. You're the man.
Damn.
Like legit. And I was like, I love cutting the grass anyways. I've got no problems. But like, I was like, sure.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I was like thinking like, okay, so women clean the house. Like my mum, like she mopped today, right?
Yeah.
And then she told me to mop, but I haven't mopped yet. But that's because I hate cleaning.
Me too.
I just hate cleaning. I cannot clean.
This is why I can't live in a big house because I can just not be bothered to clean. I need it. I need to have like a maid or someone to just clean the
Yeah.
house.
Fair
If
enough.
I have a house.
But if you have a family though,
Yeah, I'll just make my kids clean the entire thing. Be like, you want food, cunt? You fucking clean.
you know, that would, for me, that would be the best like executed plan of my life, because like I don't clean much in general, right? So if I get married and I have kids and I turn them into the cleaners, holy fuck, I avoided it for my whole entire life.
Are children just not slaves? Until they reach a certain age, you can make them do pretty much what you want, right?
Till they're 18, I guess.
Till they're 18 and then they're out.
But to be honest, it's gonna be like the standard of living is gonna be even harder for them.
Oh, 100%.
Like it's always gonna get harder and harder.
100%.
But who knows what's gonna happen?
Unless North Korea nukes someone.
Then we might get nuked and we fucking die.
Yeah.
This podcast lives on. We like,
Dude, maybe like this podcast, the new colony in Mars will be listening to our podcast. GDcast.
it would be like it would be like some Martian Spotify version. It would be like listen in to like Earthlings.
Bro, have you seen the Nelk Boys podcast? Have you heard of them?
I've heard of them. Yeah, they're pretty
Dude,
good.
they're smashing on their podcast, dude. They've got like Andrew Tate on, and then they just got Elon Musk on an episode.
Damn.
Dude, they're insane. They've got connections, man.
They're pretty good questions.
But they're asking interesting people. They've
Yeah,
got like
yeah.
fucking top tier guests, man. That's like A-list guests.
And these guys were just doing like
Pranks and shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, like some of the pranks weren't even like that funny.
They're funny, but
It was just low-key creepy.
but now they've pulled it off and they're like shifting money around dodgily between Trump, Dana White, and all these big A-list fucking celebrities.
Yeah,
It's
that-
insane.
They probably make a shit ton.
100%, man.
But like, I feel like in the US, you can make so much money from anything.
It is, but you need to have like clout and like you need to have like a
Yeah.
strong fan base. You need to have that popularity. You need to have that network.
But like everything works there. Like for instance, like I think like gaming's a good example.
Yeah.
Like I think there was someone at my old workplace, like he had a gaming degree. And I think he
Gaming
tried,
degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a gaming design degree. And he finished it and he tried to start his own thing, didn't
Yeah.
work out, and now he's just started to stick to retail. I'm like, wow. So like basically his degree was for like low-key nothing because he doesn't even want to go back to it.
True.
And I'm like, that's just sad. And he said there's no career here for a gamer. Like you need to like move to the US
Yeah.
for that. Like I feel like in the US you could do anything. Like if I want to start a brownie business, it would be probably work better in the US than here.
Wouldn't you think there'd be a lot more competition there?
The US market is obviously really competitive.
Imagine right now you go to the US and said, I'm going to start a business. You know nothing about the US. You don't know
businesses are so competitive there,
they're competitive here, bro. Imagine trying to start a
but
brand.
not as competitive there.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, first step, you need to become a politician, right? Then you need to go to Canberra. Like, we're going to clip this, right? You go to Canberra, become a politician. You got to get past a law where it says weed is now legalized in New South Wales. And then you make brownies that are laced with weed. And then you bring them to the podcast. and then we're all just high while we're talking. And that way,
Bro, but we could be like the Nelk boys of Australia. You know, we should get politicians on and
100%. I would love to have, dude. That's actually one of my goals. I would love to be a politician in the future.
I think you told me this.
I think
before,
I have told you this,
but mainly for like change and stuff.
100%. Like, okay, you have a lot of money. You can say even if you have a lot of money in the world, right? How much change can you make without all that money? I feel like politicians have the true power over land, assets, electricity, water that can really impact and change people's lives on a daily basis. And you need that power. Wow. And I feel like people in the current government don't use it properly.
Yeah.
And I fuck all of them. I make no overweight people in the government, in the parliament.
Well, we've got a passionate upcoming politician.
100%. I've always been interested in politics, significantly.
Did you ever do debate school?
I did do debate. I did year 10 debating. I wasn't very good at it, but I did do year 10 debating. And
I'm surprised with that because I could never beat you with comebacks.
yeah, but but you're generally slow with comebacks in general anyway.
But I think I got you a few times.
You did give me a few times. I remember.
And I cherished those few times as well. I was like,
just
yes.
like replaying. I've got it 1 out of 1,050 times.
Yeah. But back on topic.
Yes, sorry, as usual.
That's
just me in general.
That's expected.
See, politician vibes. Don't talk about the real topic. Just divert the question.
Yeah. Okay, so straight girls can hold hands, lock fingers, hug each other, kiss each other. Whereas if men do this, they're considered gay.
But is it not gay though? Bro, you want to touch everyone's ass, bro. You want to grab people's thighs, man.
I do that with everyone in the group, right? For the lols, right? But if I actually do it. I can't lie about that. I do that stuff. But I don't. Well, I also kiss. Yeah, I do.
Who'd you kiss?
I kiss on the cheek.
Who?
If I get drunk enough, I could kiss. Someone
That's when you're drunk, though. That's when you're drunk.
Kiss is a kiss.
Kiss is a kiss. True. That is true. That is true. But no, yes, that is a double standard. But like, I guess it just takes away from the masculinity perspective, right? Of like, you lose your masculine vibe if you start holding hands with your friend. Like, that's gay. It is gay when you think.
Yeah, I would never hold hands with a friend.
Never.
But I've done that, but for the lols.
I don't think even girls really hold. Do they hold hands?
They do hold hands.
Do they?
They cross arms, hold hands.
That's true.
That stuff. But guys, like our way of like hugging is like. It would be like fucking like this, and then like going that. In.
Yeah,
that's
and then the shake hand. At the end.
That's it. And I love that.
Yeah, it's true. It's like the true broness.
But then there's also those ones where like you haven't seen them for so long, so you're like, hey, bring it in.
Yeah, bring it in. It's been ages.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about this one? Assertive women are considered bossy and bitchy, while assertive men are considered confident.
I think assertive women just need to meet an assertive guy, and then like it won't be an issue. Like assertive women, I just think like men aren't confident in themselves when they meet an assertive woman or a confident person.
Yeah, I feel like if a guy thinks that a girl is assertive and that she thinks that she's bitchy because of that, that just means that you're not confident.
That's what I think.
And you don't match their same energy.
Assertive women are hard to find, you know?
And if someone does view that as bitchy or bossy, that just means that they've got some ego
issues. Yes.
It's like, oh no, I should be there.
Yeah.
I like to see like women in the.
It is a bit of a double standard. There's like
position.
Yeah, like there is a bit of shade thrown to women that are considered assertive as bitchy or unlovable sometimes.
Yeah.
As well as men hating. There are definitely some women out there that take it too far in terms of men hating, but that's not considered assertive.
There are those assertive. Yeah, you're probably right. I know what you're talking about. There are those bossy, bitchy ones, but it's like they're bitchy intentional because it's like
they just want to like just antagonize men or just want to like antagonize anyone really in that.
But if they're like generally just assertive,
like if they're stubborn or assertive in their ways of what they want to achieve, their goals in life and their ideas and values, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't handle it, fuck off. But there are some women are just like weird.
Yeah.
Just men hating.
Now this one really fucking interests me. So women are expected to change their last names while men have never changed their last names like when you get married. Why is that the case?
I don't see I've actually had this chat with the girl before. I don't actually genuinely care if my partner takes my last name or not, or any part of my name or not. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I want my children to have my last name.
Interesting.
You know, I feel like you'd want your partner to have your last name.
Look, if there was a way where it could be joined,
Yeah.
then
I think
amazing.
it can be. I think your name can be whatever you want, right? It's just the tradition. What do you
Yeah.
follow?
No, like for instance, there's like this Indian actress. She
Yeah.
married an Indian actor. The guy's name was Saif Ali Khan.
Yeah.
The girl's name was Kareena Kapoor.
Mm.
And then Kareena changed her name to Kareena Ali Kapoor, something like
Yeah.
that. Right? So like I think it was Kareena Kapoor Khan. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it changed into that. And that's just like, but the guy doesn't change his, right? I'm
It's
kind of like
interesting.
both should change it if it's possible, right?
interesting.
But the thing is, how the heck do you manage that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's say if I married I married someone with the last name Sharma, and I changed my last name. Like, no, let's say I put Sharma in there as well. It's like Devasya Kushal Sharma.
Yeah.
Kushal all of a sudden becomes a middle name,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, like what the fuck? And then you have kids, and their last name becomes Kaushal Sharma.
Yeah.
And then if they were to have their kids and they were to marry someone else, it just becomes longer. So it's like,
See,
what's gonna happen?
yeah, like
So you had to pick something, and I just think it's best if you don't stick to fucking. Like I don't think any of them should just change their last name.
Yeah, see, for me, like, I don't really want to, like, say, for example, if my wife wanted to take her name or something in it, I probably would say no. And the same way, like, if she doesn't want to take my last name, that's fine. But, like, my kids would need to have some part of my name in their last name or middle name or whatnot. For me personally, if I had kids.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like giving it to kids.
I just think, like, it's like an ethnic thing, or like from past time, there's values, I've just passed down as like the woman takes the man's name and the kids take the man's last name and whatnot. But in today's day and age, is that really a thing? Should you really be naming your kids like that? I think you should. Honestly, I would prefer if my kids had both my wife's whatever name in there and my name in there, so you know which two generations that kid is from.
Yeah, but to be honest, it doesn't even fucking matter. A name's just a fucking name.
No, it doesn't matter. It's a name, bro. That's the
No,
point.
no.
That's your whole name. What the?
You just need to identify someone, bro. Like, look at all these white
What,
guys.
so I'm gonna
There's
name
like
you-
my name's like Sam Murphy. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's because
this-
white people are terrible coming up names.
that's true. White names are so boring.
They are like
Who the
Sam,
heck thinks,
Bob,
like-
Nick.
Oh, I'm gonna call him Nicholas. Like,
Is
come
it-
on,
is
make
meant
it
to mean
interesting.
anything? Yeah, is it meant to even,
Doesn't mean
no.
anything.
And then you got like the normal names are like Amanda, Mary, fucking.
Yeah, like my full
Stupid
name
ass
is
names.
Devasya. Like, fucking, that's a lit name.
That is true. That's a very good name.
But like, if you say like a curry, it's like Devasya.
Devasya.
And like yours,
Kushalawale.
Ganesh, and it has meaning behind it.
It has meaning behind it, pretty much.
Yeah. My one's from like some Sanskrit, which is like ancient Indian script text or something that's religious.
All right. Off topic here. No. I was going to ask you off topic question. What would you name your son and daughter? If you had to give a name for your son and daughter, what would you name and reason behind?
I'll need to
Have
do
you thought
some
about it?
research behind that.
Okay.
But I actually want to put Dev in there.
Yeah.
So it'd be like the girl's name could be like Devika or something. Or Devasha. I think, yeah, Devasha was what I want to have for a girl.
Bro, that sounds like a guy's name, bro. What the fuck?
Devasha.
Devasha, yeah.
No.
It does.
And then I'll call her like Divi.
Bro, he's going to do a disservice to his kids, man. They're not
And
going to
then
get laid.
I think
at
I
all.
want to call my son Kaddu, which means pumpkin.
So you
It's
just,
just funny.
you just want a fat kid.
It'll
then.
be like, yeah, pretty much. It'll just be Kaddu Kaushal. Like,
That, that's a nice ring to it, though.
yeah. It makes sense, right? And then like,
You should name your, like...
if a white person wants to say Kaddu, it'll be like, hey, Kedu. Like, it sounds cool.
See, that's the problem, right? You're going to name your kids in an Indian name and no one can pronounce it in this country.
Yeah, that's true. Like, okay, well, how does Rajma sound to you?
Sounds like a unisex name for some reason.
That's like beans. It's like a bean curry.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'll name my kids like sort of any ethnic names. I think I want my
Are you serious?
Yeah, I want my daughter's name to be Ruby for some reason.
Ruby.
Yeah, like after the stone ruby, like the red ruby.
Yeah.
I really like that, so I want.
I'll look for a name with balance of two sides. Like, it has meaning behind it.
Yeah.
Right? But like, if
Panchot?
a white person was to say it, it would also just sound
Yeah.
normal. Like Devasya doesn't sound too bad. Dev doesn't sound too bad. But like, if I name my kid Hardik, right? he's
Hard
gonna-
dick.
Yeah.
What?
Hardik. It's
Oh, hard dick. And they said hard dick. And
But
I'm
like people
what?
would refer to, there is Hard Dick too. There's a player called Hard Dick Pandya. It's like HRARDIK. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's a disservice to their kids, man.
Let me double check. I know there's Hard Dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Hard tick. But not hard dick.
Yeah, there's a cricket player called Hard Dick Pandya.
Oh my God. See,
Yeah.
this is the problem. Imagine a white person says that name.
Exactly.
Hard dick.
So like I don't want my kid to be made fun of because of that. So I'll try to find some balance.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in this day and age, like people are getting better at saying ethnic names and stuff like that. With a lot more multiculturalism in the world now.
Yeah, true.
But still, you should always consider the name, make it appropriate.
Yeah. Sporting is also another interesting one.
Oh, yes.
So like people view and follow male sports more than female sports. So let's say, for example, cricket. I'd rather watch the men's cricket team than the women's cricket team.
Because male sports are just more interesting.
Yeah.
It just is. You want to know a double standard? Why are women's fucking boundaries in cricket smaller than the men's boundaries in cricket?
Because of power.
Yeah, but who gives a shit, right? They want the same fucking pay. They better hit the same ball the same amount of distance, motherfucker.
Same thing with tennis matches. I think
What,
I don't know if they changed it or what.
No,
but
tennis matches. Yeah, they have shorter
sets.
number of sets. Is it?
So like if
They only
if
have
you
to
want to
win
get
like
the
3,
same,
but like men have to win 5. I think it was. No,
men have 5. It can go up to 5 sets. I think women matches go up to 3 sets.
3 sets. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And I think someone was saying like equal pay.
Equal
but it's
pay.
like no equal work for equal pay.
They pay. Yeah, exactly what I mean. That's what I mean. They don't put. It's not the same amount of work, fam.
But then don't you think also there's like the biological difference? Like
Who gives a shit? They want equal pay. Time equals money.
Look, if you look at like Olympic records for like
okay, let me ask you this
100-meter
question.
race versus male versus female.
Yeah.
Obviously the male is going to be faster. Why?
Okay, but let me ask you this question then, right? Do male bricklayers and women bricklayers get paid different? They do the same amount of work and they get paid the same. And do you think men should get paid more for doing it?
Well, it depends how many bricks, right? Logically speaking.
But this is what I mean, right? Like women's sports is like they just don't have the same amount of effort in it. Or like maybe they have the same amount of effort, but they don't do the same amount or they don't provide the same entertainment value as men's sports does. That's why they shouldn't get paid equally, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. You do the same job and put the same effort in, sure, get paid the same amount. I'm all for equal pay. But they don't put enough money to justify how much they get paid.
Yeah. I also just think it's just from the get-go, it's just mainly men who were playing sports usually.
Yes,
right.
there is
so
that.
like
Yes,
that was
there-
what was broadcasted, and that's what people were used
So
to.
that's the main argument is the fact that women's sports have not been around long enough to have garnered enough audience for them to get the justifiable paid amount.
But I would say it is getting better. Like UFC, for example, I actually enjoy watching the women's fights.
UFC women's fights are the best, and I want them to get paid a shit ton more money. Dude, you missed out on UFC 277. I watched it.
Yeah.
The Amanda Nunes versus Julia Pena fight was one of the best UFC women's fight I swear I have ever watched, man. Most grueling, most vicious fight for 5 rounds, man. Amanda Nunes beat the shit out of Julia Pena for the whole fucking 5 rounds.
Yeah.
It was insane. And fuck, pay her all the money, man. Take all of the men's fight. Take Israel Adesanya's money and give it to Amanda Nunes because Adesanya didn't do shit for those.
I think when
last match.
Ronda Rousey was in, she was the highest paid because she was
UFC
bringing
star.
in those numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And
Everyone
that's
wanted to watch her fight.
and that's valid.
Yeah, but it was, I swear, it's Ronda Rousey and it's Conor McGregor that made the UFC.
Oh yeah, it was. It definitely
Those two
was.
made the UFC what it is today. Otherwise, it would have just been like another thing on the side. Because I always heard of the UFC kind of.
Yeah, but
I never like fully was
fully into it. I think
aware of it.
John Jones was a big one of them. Anderson Silva was another big one that brought the UFC to amazing heights as well. So, and Daniel Cormier. There's a lot of stars we can talk about in the UFC, but the main argument is that male sports are more enjoyable than female sports. I think just even when you watch male sports, just that testosterone factor of men clashing is more interesting than the women having arguments, you know?
But it's just like biologically, because there's that difference. Men are just better in terms of just...
Yeah, biologically there's a difference.
We're bigger, stronger.
Yeah.
We might have more stamina.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why the fastest 100-meter race
Yeah.
is like Usain Bolt. It's not a female. But if it's possible biologically for a female to do it, then it might be, but I don't think it is.
I think women's cricket is pretty boring, but women's tennis is very interesting in my opinion.
Tennis is another.
Tennis is very
tennis
interesting. Tennis, like, yes, they can get paid the same amount, I guess, but they still don't put in the same number of sets, you know? Or
Exactly.
but women's tennis very interesting. UFC women's fights are very, very interesting in my opinion. Women's cricket, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's dead. They don't hit the ball as hard. They don't ball as fast. It's just not there. Maybe give it some time. I don't know. But right now, it's pretty goddamn dead, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, men's cricket's pretty dying at the moment as well. Fucking Big Bash is pretty shit these days.
I think it's ever since like cricket in general is not broadcasted on TV anymore.
That was a big issue. They fucked
that's-
it up
yeah.
bad.
That's gonna like fuck up Australian cricket.
100%. 100%.
Because no one's gonna be aware of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now this is more on a corporate note. So what are your thoughts of those women in IT programs? Like why aren't there like men in nursing programs? Like I get the idea of promoting like equal opportunities and promoting interest for certain careers and stuff. But like it's up to the person in terms of what they want to do.
I agree. Okay, so there is, I think, from what I understand or what my beliefs are, there are a couple of answers to this question. Number one is women are generally just better at taking care of people. They're more people oriented. They have more emotional higher quotient. They can help people. They can understand other individuals on a more emotional level. While as men are naturally geared towards solving problems, being more technical and just being more hands-on type thing. And that's why they end up in majority of STEM roles. And I do think a lot of the universities now with all that STEM programs that they have running, like supporting women into engineering fields and stuff like that, is a very good thing, in my opinion. I think a lot of women who do not have that support might not have done it.
Okay, fair enough. Like, I do think it's good, but I also think it's unfair to someone who does have the skill. Because my sister, she told me a story once. I think there was this cybersecurity role.
Yeah.
Like one of her friends was applying for it. And then when this person was applying for it, like she wasn't actually like qualified for the role, but they offered it to her over this other person who apparently was more qualified.
Yeah.
And
see, this is a valid point, and I'm going to paraphrase what Jordan Peterson said here, right? Especially when it comes to like STEM fields, when people or companies try to hire like equal opportunity, like 50-50 female and 50-50 male, the number of the pool of which male female applicants you can choose from are far less than the number of male applicants you can choose from. So the aptitude of the male applicants are going to be far higher than the aptitude of the female applicants. And I think that's where it becomes very dangerous for companies to choose 50-50 or like to start like actively pursuing women into roles where they're less qualified than men are in that same opportunity.
Yeah.
That's where it's a bit off to me. I don't know if it's necessarily a double standard, but it's just the way society is geared at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, what if when a man is scared, he's considered like a coward?
Yeah. But
if a woman is scared, it's normal.
Yeah, this is definitely double standard.
Yeah.
It's just not, I guess it comes to that masculine imperative, right? As a man, you're expected to face your challenges and just without question, do not show fear and just get on with it, right?
Like even back in the war days, I think if you didn't actually go to war, ladies will give you a rose signifying that you're a coward.
I don't know if it's a rose or
maybe like a white rose.
Maybe it is a white rose where you're considered a coward. I mean, we can bring up the Ukraine situation now as well, right? They send women and children packing into safe areas, but the men had to stay behind to fight the war.
And they were kind of forced into it.
How is that fair?
That's so true.
You know what I mean? If a war broke out now, men are expected to pick up the gun and go fight the war. You know what a female told me, or an answer to this question? Men start the war, so men should deal with them. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? This is the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my life.
That is,
I agree. True. Men mostly start the wars, but that doesn't mean fucking all men are responsible for their actions. You know?
Yeah. It's fucking annoying.
But right now, right? If fucking China attacked and we were all drafted, as a man, you'd be expected to go without question. You wouldn't be questioned. You wouldn't be asked. You'd just be like, go pack up your shit, pick up a gun, start shooting motherfuckers in the head.
Yeah. Okay, let's put a hypothetical situation for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you're with your girl and then you go somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's like a group of guys. They're like hitting on your girl.
Yeah.
right, in front of you. And you're like, these guys are just dickheads, just ignore them.
Yeah.
And then your girl's like, do something about it. Why?
I'd be slapped the girl, bro. Fucking
Why
hell.
being coward for? You slap the girl.
Yeah, okay, you got to think about it logically, right? Do not be stupid. You can't take on a group of guys,
Yeah, but she might be like, oh, say something. Like, why being a coward?
bro. A group of guys.
Yeah, true. But like,
If my girl,
there are girls like that.
There are girls like that, but if my girl does not have the common sense of when to keep the mouth shut and when to talk, that shouldn't be a girl. Like, fucking get the fuck out of here. Like, you're just gonna get both of us killed, or both of us stabbed, wounded. You know what I mean? There's an appropriate time where to say something, but this is why you have to be vigilant in a situation. You have to be aware of your surroundings and who's standing around, right? Imagine I was your girl, right? I'm like, oh my God, dude, they're fucking catcalling me. Say something.
Shit like that does happen.
I guess
and fights end up happening.
Exactly, right? I guess the best thing I would do is I would give the guys like a dirty look. I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Just ignore them and we'll just go somewhere else.
Or just try to have like a civil conversation. Just be like, hey, look, like, don't say that about my girl.
It's
not
disrespectful,
cool,
right? Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, what the fuck are you going to do? I'm not going to do anything, mate.
Yeah,
like,
but it's just
I'm just letting you know
dickhead,
it's not right.
I guess that's the best you can say without starting a fight. If they start a fight, I'm going to grab my hand of the girl and just fucking run.
Yeah.
Like, it's not smart to take on 5 guys when you're one person and you're with the girl and the girl's holding your right hand arm, which is your only weapon that you can use to hit the person with.
But with yesterday, I wonder if there was a different way I could have dealt with that.
Oh, for the club situation?
Yeah.
You should have just chuck a swing, bro. I would have joined in.
I was low-key tempted. So me and this guy were at a club yesterday, and then everyone ends up pushing each other and shoving each other. It just happens, right? So I feel this guy pushing me like multiple times, like slightly. I could just feel him forcing it intentionally, and then I think I did it intentionally back to him, and then he's like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" And I was like, and he looked pissed off as well. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, who the fuck do you think you are?
He's like a white bogan wearing shades in the club.
Yeah. And it's had some ugly mullet. Looked like an idiot.
He had like a weird like afro.
I don't know what it was.
mullet.
It wasn't even a fucking mullet.
It wasn't a mullet, but it's like a weird afro.
It was a
like
weird cut, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I got so fucking pissed. So I was like, what the fuck? I was like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Because you're like dancing. You're like, what the fuck, bro? Get the fuck out of here.
Something
like that. Yeah.
And then his mate comes in and calms his mate down.
That guy seemed pretty chill though.
I think he was chilled.
He didn't want to fight.
He didn't want anything. He didn't want any fight. He was being a bit civil, and he just told me, hey, just walk off.
He said walk off. Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't really walk off. We were still around.
We were still around them, but
I was just like, fuck this guy.
I swear you're ready to throw a swing at that guy, bro. And I was like, I would just clock what was happening. I was looking at you like, okay, something's about to happen here. I'm like, how many guys are there? Can we take them? And right, we were at Cliff Dive, right? We can say the name. Fuck
yeah.
We were at Cliff Dive. It was packed. Like we couldn't move in that time period where we were in it. We really couldn't move anywhere. And I think there was about 3 of them there. There's 2 of his mates standing around as well. And I thought Dev was about to have a go. And like there was a Seki standing behind that at that time.
Yeah.
So if we had a fight, we would have just been thrown out. But then the fight would have continued probably out on the field.
Yeah, and then we would have been outnumbered because there was
100%.
like 5 of them.
There was 5 of them. I counted in the end. There was 5 of them and 2 of us at that point in time.
We would have gotten fucked.
We would have gone fucked.
Because it's just there's more numbers logically.
And the thing is, those guys were actually taller than us as well. Like a lot
they
of
were
them
taller, but they were skinny.
They were skinny.
So
except
like,
that one guy that you pushed. He was a bit bigger, fatter guy.
Yeah, but I think I could take him on.
I think you could take him on. I could take.
You look like an idiot. Anyways. Yeah.
Should all carry guns and just strap ourselves. Just
no, but that really fucking did.
Yeah.
I'm still pissed.
He looked pissed off at that. I was like, okay, something's about to go down. And then honestly, I thought you were about to have another fight with that Asian guy who had a bald head. I thought he was having a go at you, and I was like, bro, you all good?
Yeah, no.
That was a funny one.
I knew he was little, so I was like, even if he tried or something, he wasn't gonna do anything because he was really short.
Sometimes you gotta be
And
careful.
I was like, bro. I was like, these guys are pushing me, right? I was like, I can't do anything about it. I was like, if I'm pushing you, let me know. I'll push you back in.
It does piss me off, like when people can't get over the fact that you're pushing in a club. It's a fucking club. It's a club. It's so tight. You're gonna get pushed around. Like, calm the fuck down, or fucking get slapped.
Like when I was at Marquee, I didn't know this guy was actually angry at me, but I think Shri said that, oh, he's actually pissed off at you. And I was like, I didn't know. I thought he was just saying something. I couldn't hear him properly, but he was like saying, oh, if you push, I push you back. And I'm like, I didn't hear him say that properly, but I probably would have got into an argument with him as well. Because I'm like, are you dumb or dumb? You're at a fucking nightclub. Everyone pushes into each other.
I've got a very good. Sorry, have you finished with your statement? All right, I've got a very good thing. Right, I want to talk about. Right, it's when girls give you dirties when you accidentally push them at a club, or when you're trying to dance and you accidentally hit them or touch them.
Yeah.
And they look back at you and they give you dirties like, bitch, I don't give a shit who the fuck you think you are. Move the fuck out the way. Like, we're at a club. You're going to bump into them. Get used to it. And I feel like when the girls give you dirty, I'm like, bro, who do you think you are? You're nothing. You're literally an ugly chick. Your beauty can get wiped off with one tissue. So shut the fuck up. It pisses me off. We're just having a good time and someone bumps behind you and you bump them. God, they look back like
relax,
man. Like, you're not a fucking queen.
I just say sorry, so just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even say fucking sorry, but like,
bro, it's just like, bitch, get the fuck out the way.
No, you know what would happen? Like, they would be with their guy, right?
Yeah.
And then they give you a dirty, and the guy's like, watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, what the
It's
fuck?
happened. I think that happened at Marquee with us. That happened. That was a guy, right?
I think that was
a guy. Yeah. I think we hit his chick.
No, I think my elbow hit the girl's chick, but I said sorry right away because I was like, my elbow hit her head.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh yeah, that's another good point. Why are there midgets at the club? You know, I hate this. There's fucking these tiny girls, bro, like 5 foot, like 5'4".
I remember that.
And I'm trying to put my hand up, and I put my hand out. Oh fuck! What the fuck is that? There's a fucking dwarf on the floor, man. Get the fuck out the way.
I remember. So it was you, me, Shri at Marquee.
And then there's like this really big chick.
There was this really big chick, and then there was this really, really tiny girl.
Yeah.
And you guys were making fun of her.
We weren't making fun
you
of
were
her.
talking shit about her.
We were talking.
And then the big chick started talking to me, and she was like, your friends are making fun of my friend, like,
We
about
weren't
her
really-
height.
We weren't really making fun of her. Like, we were just like, we looked at her like, bro.
But she was really small.
No, she was very small. Like, she was at my hip, I swear. Or like a bit taller than my hip height. And I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, that was hilarious.
We'll talk more about these stories in our clubbing episode when we get into it.
Yeah,
Well.
definitely. But if women get angry, it's considered that like, are you like crazy? But like if men get angry, it's like considered like, oh, he's just being
Is
a
it
man.
That has your experiences. In mine, I didn't know about
like
this
you
one.
don't expect women to get angry as much. So when you do see them angry, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I would say that as well. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Women generally, I feel like, get not angry, but they get emotional and sad first, and then it usually turns into anger if the issue's not been resolved.
Yeah.
In my experience,
It's probably that. Like, I don't think it's like a complete double standard.
I don't think it's a complete double standard, but
it's kind of there. Like, I see it there.
Mm.
Yeah. But okay, what about this?
All right.
Men can talk about their feelings with girls, but they can't talk about their feelings with the boys.
It's a good one.
And the reason why I think that's the case is
Good
because
one.
women have a high emotional intelligence, so
Mhm.
men are more comfortable talking about
Yeah.
their emotions with them than the
Yes.
boys. And if a man wants to talk about his emotions with the boys, it's more like,
Man up.
yeah, man up, like
Man
what the
up.
fuck?
Deal with the situation.
Or it's just you're not comfortable because you think you come across as weak.
I mean, I think I've said this to you, right? Just man up and ask her out.
yeah, you said that
I've
to
said
me.
that to you as well.
Yeah.
So like, I have terrible emotional quotient, by the way. Like, fucking hell. Unless it's with a female, then I can sort of understand their feelings. But when it's a guy complaining to me, I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
come on now, get on with it.
But
Solve
think
the
even
issue.
with me, like I'm comfortable, like whoever it is, right?
Yeah.
But I probably would be more comfortable with
With a female, yeah.
with a girl, like
100%.
yeah, just because I feel like they would understand more. Like
They do understand more, and
They're more empathetic.
This comes back to the point of like women are better at people-oriented jobs where they have to deal with people like HR, nursing, and stuff like that.
yeah,
While men are more suited to that engineering style applications and stuff like that.
yeah, that's true. Okay, this one's pretty interesting as well. So if a hot guy, I think we've mentioned this in a few
I
episodes.
feel like we might have, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's touch on it again.
oh, yeah. So if a hot guy was to hit on a girl, it's allowed. But if an unattractive guy was to hit on a girl, it's creepy and sometimes even considered sexual harassment.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, I think I saw this picture online. It was like, I think he was like a good looking guy. And he's like, hey, Susan, you're looking good. And then he was a fat guy. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, Susan, you're looking good.
Yeah.
And like, and it's like the girl's on like reporting to HR. Right. But if it was a good guy, she's like,
Like,
oh.
oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It really depends on whether the girl likes the guy or not. It's simple as that. Should we talk about this in this episode about the guy that we met outside Cliff Dive and him in the club afterwards?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Should we talk
mention
about
it?
we
Yeah, that's
mentioned it.
fine.
All right. So we met a guy out at the club. He was single. He was from, he's from Florida, whatnot. Came down, worked a couple of years here, and he's at the club. Probably like late 20s, maybe 30s, early 30s. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he seemed so awkward when he was in the club and like just drinking by himself. And he wasn't really dancing. He was just holding a glass in his hand, just like sipping on the dance floor.
Yeah.
He wasn't dancing with anyone. He wasn't even dancing by himself. And it just...
Yeah, I was kind of weirded out. No,
Yeah, I was kind of weirded out.
look
And
at-
like, if you try to look at a girl, if I was a girl, I would kind of feel weirded out, to be fair.
if I was dude, to be honest, I felt weird as a guy talking to him. Like, I don't know, like about that. Like,
I did as well. I didn't.
some people just give off that vibe,
They
but I just
do.
felt like this guy was really, really antisocial and really awkward. I think that's just what it was,
Yeah.
which is fine. But like, also like, it was just weird.
It just didn't look like he
It was-
belonged there.
Yeah, yeah. And,
He just did not belong
and
there.
I was a bit concerned as well because generally, like, cliff dive is like young people.
It is more
and
younger
he's like
people.
probably like in his 30s.
there.
On top of that, he's here alone and everything. So it's just like,
It's just very, very awkward. We'll go over more of that situation in a different episode, but
I really like this one.
yeah.
So if men don't shave their hair, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if women don't shave their hair, they're considered manly or unhygienic.
That's an interesting one. I think, I guess, comes to beauty standards and what's attractive and what's not attractive, I guess. Like,
Yeah. I wouldn't want to see hair on my girl.
like I don't like mind if you can see stubble. That's kind of normal.
That's
Like, I
normal,
don't expect her to shave
yeah.
every single day. That's long. But like, I don't want to like see her with a mustache.
Yeah, like girls can actually grow mustaches
They
if they want
can,
to,
bro, they
right?
can.
But they like take care of themselves and so on.
Especially Indian women. Is that bad to say? I don't know.
No. But
Observation.
yeah, it's so interesting. Like if they had armpit hair, I don't think I would care as much, but I would prefer it to be clean.
Okay, I would prefer it to be clean. It's not like a big thing. Like I just don't want it to be the same amount of armpit hair as I have. Even I don't have. I think we shave because we gym and like we look at our body.
yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, like as for me in terms of my personal, what I consider beautiful, I don't really want her to have too much hair on her body. If that makes sense. As
Yeah.
you get older, that may change, and you don't want to shave as frequently. Fair enough. But like as we're young, 20s, stuff like that.
What about down there? Like,
Oh, that's okay.
yeah, I don't really
Like
care
a little bit
down
there is fine.
Yeah.
I just like the feel of a woman when she's smooth is like is a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go like over a concrete path when I'm trying to drag my
It's like
feet.
a rub,
Yeah, rubbing
Or
her.
prickly.
Yeah, or prickly. I'm like,
But like a lot of people get laser these days.
They
Like,
do.
A lot
They-
of chicks get
a lot of
laser.
chicks get lasered, and like, you know what? If I was committed in a committed relationship with a girl and she wanted like get laser, I would pay for a bit of it as well.
Yeah.
Like if I want her to upkeep like her beauty standard and I wanted to look a certain way and whatnot, or like vice versa, and she wanted a bit of money to do laser, I would pay for a bit of it
Okay.
because I like smooth skin.
I will invest.
Because
It
yeah,
is an investment
it is
I am
an-
willing
it-
to pay.
It is an investment that I am willing to pay. I like to rub my face across every part of her body, you know. So then it is okay if she's very smooth. It's very much better. Like, mwah.
Oh man.
I don't know. It's like I'm trying to do Italian kiss for an Indian thing.
We just have a few more scenarios, right? These are like
you did a lot of work to get these done. I
these
respect.
are like mini ones.
Mm-hmm.
So boys can go out late nights, but chicks have curfews.
Okay.
Right.
Do you wanna start?
Okay, I'll start
Okay,
with this. So,
you start.
okay, so boys can go out late night, but chicks have curfews. I think the reason why is because men are dickheads, and you know, I feel like women can be targeted,
Yeah.
and like parents, especially ethnic parents, impose those curfews because they want them to be home a certain time. Because if they're out too late, they don't trust the men that are out there.
Take the ethnicity out of it, right? Even for me, if I was a parent and I had a son and I had a daughter, I would care a lot more about what my daughter is doing and where she is going and how she's going to get there and how she's going to get home and who she's hanging out with than my son. As my son, I don't have to worry about my son getting sexually abused or raped in the middle of the street or getting targeted by other people or stuff like that.
Yeah.
While as a female, like walking around late at night could be dangerous, could get catcalled, could be harassed, could be sexually abused. I mean, even in our experiences, we've seen men at the club just go around slapping girls' asses
Yeah, that's
at
pretty.
the club, which is pretty low.
stupid.
It's pretty low. and stuff like that happens at the club, and it's a natural thing, and it's something that's always going to happen for the rest of life. So to sum up that statement, is like, I don't know if I'd give my girl, or like not my girl, sorry, my daughter a curfew necessarily.
Yeah.
But I would definitely like to know where she is, what she's doing, and how she's going to get home, or where she's going to stay if she's not going to be home.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair enough. But someone brought a pretty interesting perspective. I think
Far away.
I think I was at a club, right? It was like a club bar, and I think it was like a drag queen night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I think mostly like drag people go there. And like I was waiting in line. I told this guy, "Oh, you go ahead," but he was gay. He was like giving me these like weird eyes. I think he was like, "Thank you." He said something like that. I don't know why this happens to me.
Yeah.
And then
You definitely give off some gay energy, I swear.
I don't know what it is.
You've definitely been through a fair share of experiences.
Yeah, and then I think I was telling this other guy, and he's like, "Oh, like, dude, like, imagine women." I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I have two sisters, right?" And he's like, "No, just imagine women, like you don't feel comfortable with this one experience." I was like, "Yeah, because he's gay and I'm straight." And he's like, "Yeah, but imagine women who are constantly targeted by men. Like, if you're pretty, right? Like, there's a good chance you might actually get harassed. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like, because like I hear stories like with my sister, with her friends, like the ones that are like pretty and stuff like." Okay, that came out so wrong.
He's in trouble when this episode comes out. You are in trouble. So, Dev, do you want to explain which ones are not pretty?
No, it's not like that. No, the ones that are like they're all pretty, but I heard stories of like some
He's
of
in
them
trouble.
like getting harassed and stuff. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
and like it would be like someone would just randomly touch them or slap their ass, and it's concerning. Which is why like it's fair to impose curfews if you want.
Yeah.
but I wouldn't do that. But it's just you want to know where they are, when they are, how they're getting home.
Pretty much. It's more like, okay, what's happening? Are you okay? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like if like I guess in sense, like when you're with the boys, you're kind of surrounded with the boys, so you know the guys are kind of safe. But even as a group of girls, as a group of guys come across that are bad, have bad intentions, what you gonna do against a group of guys? Call the police?
Yeah.
And wait 15 minutes for them to come while you get abused and kicked and fucking hit?
Yeah, true. And ladies, they get picked up if they come home late, right? Well, men don't even get a call, right? And I think that's the specific reason. It's just like
It's
what
just-
we discussed. It's
yeah.
just that, and it's fair, right? But it's like I want to get picked up, man. Like, come on, please. I don't want to walk all the way home from the train station. Like, why? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
like I'm happy I'm not getting calls.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any calls. I think I used to get calls and then I just didn't pick them up.
Me too.
And then I stopped getting calls because it's like he's not going to pick it up anyway, so
Yeah.
why bother?
So-
But I don't get picked up. But if my sister
Yeah.
like was told my dad like my dad would be like half asleep,
Yeah.
waiting for my sister to come, and then like it would be like a call comes like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and it's like, "Hello, where are you?" It's like, "Oh, could you pick me up from here?" It's like, okay.
Okay. No questions asked.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what? As like if I was a dad, I would do the same thing.
And if I call and I go out, he's sleeping. He's not even half asleep. He's sleeping. I'll tell you that.
That's actually so funny though.
It's annoying.
It's true. No, it's true.
So we got this last double
one.
standard, right?
Last one.
This one's more like a mature one, kind of, I guess. So like, you're a fun dad if you bring in fast food, but you're a lazy mum if you do the same.
That's actually such a good double standard. It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It is. It is.
It's true. It's like, oh, do you not care for your children? Like,
Yeah.
can't you cook food for them?
Yeah, I remember I didn't ask my mom for chips because she never like hot chips like back in like primary school. I never asked my mom because I know she would never get it for me. But if I asked my dad like slowly, "Dad, can we get some hot chips on Friday? It'd be awesome."
Yeah.
Dad would get it for me, no questions asked. Mom would be like, "Why are you buying this food for your son? He's gonna get fat and sick."
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, if your mom walked in with like a quarter pound of pizza like every fucking week, and then you'd be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, like you don't get the love. But it's also like other people would perceive them as a bad mother.
They would. They're like,
Like-
"You're not gonna cook for your son."
How can you not cook for your kids?
I think
But
like
like, if the man wants to just bring fast food, oh, he's such a nice husband. Like, he's such a nice father. Like,
Yeah.
he cares for his children. But like, if the woman wants to do that, like, you're a lazy piece of shit.
it is true. And I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you watched Superwalk, but even Superwalk did a skit where he's like a McDonald's worker and like his mom and child came. And it's like, "You don't cook food at home" or something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that
this one,
skit. Yeah.
So good.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna clip that and make a TikTok off that, bro. But far out.
Yeah,
It's so true.
There's so many double standards out there.
There's so many double standards, and we only talked about the ones that are geared sort of towards men.
Yeah.
Because once we talk about the ones with female, we know we're not going to leave the podcast the same way.
Exactly. But it would be good to bring on some women. We might have like
Definitely.
a second
Second
segment
version,
of this maybe
100%.
down the
Definitely.
future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sure. And then we'll go more into our clubbing stories.
Yeah. And I think that'll be more of an argumentative.
Argumentative one, yes. Like,
But
I
I'll
can't
be
wait
down
till
for
we have
that.
Pooja on that one and just go back and forth.
Yeah.
Pooja or someone else. We'll see.
Yeah, but we'll leave it at that. I want to thank everyone for listening into this episode.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
It was great, and stay tuned for next time.
Stay tuned, subscribe, and listen to more episodes.
Peace out.